What's up, everybody? Supersmallchibiwolf here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Soldier. This is the 51 episode anime series, and the first thing I want to talk about are the characters. Now, I like the characters, in fact, I love them. I find them being cool, funny, skillful, talented, and creative while fighting. And each one of them having their own funny thing about them and uniqueness to them, which separates them from each other, which I also love. Now, the first character I want to talk about is Maka. I love Maki. She was a nice hearted girl that uses one of her best friend's soul as a sight. Maka is smart, talented, and skilled in fighting, whether it's with her sight or hand on hand. And also, I'd say she was funny many times. For example, when it comes to dealing with her purported dad or anything purported related, she's there to basically put those people down and be like the savior to those people who are being affected. Now, while Maka is a great sight wielder, I can't forget to mention that she is also talented in martial arts, and I love that these moments, she kind of shows more than just, relying on her sight or something like that. She actually has other skills besides being a sight wielder. I can't also forget about one of the funniest attacks, which is the Maka Chop. Okay, look, I love the Maka Chop. I see it in the same way as the Kamehameha from Dragon Ball. In the way of, holy shit, that's funny. But to be honest, that's a little funny right there. But I want to say this, though. The Maka Chop is really funny, I did enjoy those moments. I say, a lot of times with the comedy, there are other characters that does more. But I would say, Maka has a lot of them, those funny moments. And that's one thing I enjoy about her. Her design is cool, and she's one of the best characters. To be honest, she's my favorite character in Soul Eater. I find her cool, interesting, funny. She was great in martial arts, and she is the best girl. Now, the next person I'm going to be talking about, character I'm going to be talking about is Soul. I think Soul is pretty cool. He's a cool, smart guy, talented while fighting. He works hard to complete and successfully complete his missions, and what was it? He's a good pianist, knows how to play the piano, and yeah, pretty cool guy. I'd also say, during fights, I enjoy how sometimes he's serious, but not too serious. He's well balanced and skillful, and many times he's not an egotistical guy that this or that, but he does push his friends to kind of do more and kind of be better. So he's pretty cool. Now, one of the best things that I enjoy is his way of expressing love towards the females around him, especially Blair. you know, I'd say this, out of a lot of, there's a lot of beautiful young ladies in this anime, and Soul is similar to Deck the Kid. Not just any girl is going to be getting their interest. So Blair's there to get it. That's pretty funny. Now, next character I want to talk about is, oh man, Black Star. So, long story short, he's more like the comedic relief, the clumsy guy that tends to take fights less seriously compared to his opponents or other friends. Even though his weapon is Tsubaki, which is basically what ninjas used to use or something, and as Guardian, yeah, I believe that was the history of that weapon of his. Yeah, they used to use it while doing like garden stuff, but then they just used it as weapons later on, something like that. And yeah, Black Star, to be honest, at times he could be good and funny and entertaining, but he does have some issues. Now, I wouldn't say he's the worst character in anime or fiction, like a lot of other people say. He does have somewhat moments, but I would say those moments of goodness kind of fade away into, oh yeah, this character kind of sucks, when he kind of does a lot of dumb stuff, while his other friends, they do or go through something similar. Instead of being acting stupid like Blackstar does, they actually take the time to be like, okay, I fucked up here, I'm going to improve more later on, and they do, With Black Star, it kind of takes a little bit more time. You know, he's kind of a special one in that way. But I would also say, because I don't want to sound like hating him all the time, because I think it's obvious that he is like the, what was it, the frog of the anime. In other words, he is used to getting the hate. You know what I mean? But what I could say is, comparing him to other characters in anime that are similar to his way, he does have better character development in a way compared to other characters that are similar to him. So that's a good thing I could say about him. But besides that, I think there was a few more things that could have been done to make him at least great, you know, just like the other characters. So with that being that, I'll also talk about Tsubaki in that similar way because I'd say she has a little bit more cool development compared to her sidekick. I mean, not sidekick, but wielder, Black Star. But in a way, you know, I say Tsubaki is interesting because her backstory, she is really talented and kind of is the one kind of helping him out and stuff throughout the series. Now, what else I could say about Tsubaki is her haircut reminds me of Ibuki from Street Fighter, and she kind of has that look as well, which the normal, what was it, Shinobi look, which is pretty cool. And also, I would say this, even though she, you know, is living in a world full of magical fights and all that, I wouldn't compare her to someone like, say, another ninja in that way, Yuffie from Final Fantasy, you know, who lives in a world with magic and all that. I wouldn't compare her in that way, or even similar to, what was it? Yasuna, no, not Yasuna. Uh, what was that character? Inso character. Oh, like those Dead or Alive characters. Yes. How could I forget that? With the Ninja Gaiden guy, Ryu. So yeah, I'd say similar to those characters. You know, I'd compare Tsubaki because to be honest, in a way, I could say she could be better, but this is the issue with Tsubaki. Now, while the other Maestros have, you know, their friends, their weapons to kind of keep pushing them. You know, you have Black Star. I mean, not Black Star. You have Death the Kid right here. You know, what was it? Liz and uh, Patty. You know, they are cool sisters, twins. They have their own personalities. You know, while Patty's the one to be more of a cheerful, relaxed, and hey, let's chill, let's have fun. You see her sister Elizabeth being more of a serious one, kind of taking missions a little bit more serious, being a little bit more cautious when taking place. You say compare that to how Tsubaki is. She's more of a different. You know, I wouldn't even compare Elizabeth to Tsubaki. I mean, I wouldn't say they are like the same exact thing. Like I heard that before, due to them being kind of, you know, there to kind of push them and their real those and you know, all that stuff, support them when they're down. But I'd say, what was it, Kid and his, what was it, weapons have more of an impact from beginning to end and how they progress than Tsubaki and Black Star together. Tsubaki alone has potential to be great. She is great. In fact, I would say her interesting story, her background with her brother, and then family in general, and seeing how she has the what was it, some progression throughout the story. But I say when it comes to duos, Black Star kind of is really getting up there, and you know it shines or whatever, you know. But when it him himself, I would say Black Star is good at best. And I'm just saying that because he actually shown to have skills and surpass some other characters. But in the same time, we see that depending which character in the main cast, they beat him easily, you know. So in a way, I don't want to sound like hey hating on the guy, but I think he could have been written a little bit better. Black Star. He's okay, and that's me being generous. Next thing I'm going to talk about is Krona. Oh, yo. Now, I'm talking about the Black Star. Let's talk about an actual great character. Okay, and Soul Eater. And that is Krona. Now, Krona, he is just basically one of the best and coolest anime characters of all time. Characters in general, you know, I'm including video game characters in that general Everything. I love Krona. Let me just say this. Besides his nice and shy guy, combination that he has going for him, he is combined with his weapon as well, which making him a little bit more cool and interesting. And one thing that I enjoy about him is not only does he have like his own interesting things about him, like for example, the other characters, they have their weapons, they're separate from the real, but Krona actually has that his what was it, weapon melted within him, I believe in his bloodline, his veins or something like that, or was it the soul? No, I think it was in his blood. Yeah, the blood. And then he has like that black blood, which is basically it hardens whenever what was it? Someone's about to attack, and then it hardens. And he uses this like as a defense during fights. And I enjoy how he like creates different things, like for example, rings to fly, screaming to tear apart, certain things to harm his opponents to give him an advantage during fights. And just a lot of things Chrono has, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone. You know what I mean? Because there are. I would say, I rather did less of Black Star and just more of Quota, okay, to be honest. Now, I don't hate the Black Star. It's just Krona was just way better. Okay. I love Krona. He just was like he was like the character, you know what I mean? The character that kind of has done enough to leave such a great impact, you know. And I would also say that he was skillful. They actually showed that him kind of improving through within. His story was great. I loved his design. I enjoyed it, just everything, it was just all out. I don't see a reason not to enjoy, not to like Krona, Now the other characters, yeah, they were funny, cool, and I enjoyed them as well. What was it? Maka. Maka's dad, he's a funny, cool guy. Blair was a little bit perverted, which I loved. And she's similar to, I will compare Blair. Blair is similar to Bulma from Dragon Ball back in the original Dragon Ball. Now, not Z, but Dragon Ball. Lord Death. He was cool. Like, I enjoyed this character a lot as well. More than I thought I would. Krona's interesting evil mom also has a cool backstory as well, and personalities and skills, which separates her from everyone else, and that's also what I like. The one character that I really was like, and this is me being really generous, I'd say he makes Black Star look cool, is Excalibur, which kind of was annoying, and to be honest, I didn't like his episodes that much, to be honest. My favorite episodes were the ones with Krona. Okay, Krona and seeing what was that? Death the Kid. Yeah, Krona, Death the Kid, and Maka. Those were my favorite episodes when they really focused on those. I found that more interesting than Black Star, to be honest. But yeah, he's okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the story, finally. So the story's about, well, it's not that hard to understand. So the story is about a group of friends divided into 3 groups. You have Maka and Soul, Blackstar and Tsubaki, Death the Kid with the 2 twins, Patricia and Elizabeth. They are in a mission to collect 99 souls of 99 souls of evil humans and 1 witch soul, so they can turn their friends or death friends or whatever, weapon friends, into a death site. Once this is completed, they are able to go on in their adventures, because this is basically not a slice of life, but a lot of shonen. You go around, you defeat, and eventually you're going to come upon the next big villain of that arc. And yeah, pretty much that's it. That's how I would sum it all up. They go around defending this city from creatures called Kishin while improving their skills. So, pretty cool story, I would say. Now, I love Square Enix, and their animes are always great. This is a Square Enix. They helped create this, and other animes they helped create was Akame ga Kill. And why I mention this is because, and also Square Enix is behind Final Fantasy. Now, why I mention this is because a little bit of a crazy desire of mine. And what I mean by that is that, next gen consoles are covered up, and I would love a Soul Eater fighting game. Look, if they could do it with Final Fantasy The City NT, why would they not do it with Soul Eater? Okay, hey, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm not going to be making a separate video of that. But this was like the moment to say it. So the last thing I want to talk about is, I love a lot of shonen anime. Right. Soul Eater is my top one. I'd say it's one of my favorite animes of all time, similar to like How Season Mia, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and a few others, right? And I remember when it was new and still huge, or what was it, a couple of years ago when it was, first new and all that. Oh, well, over a decade now, to be honest, because I think this was like late 2000s and it's 2020. So, yeah. So, pretty cool. Also, I would say, oh yeah, I don't want to forget this. I enjoyed the fights, a lot of them, but I would say this, compared to other shonen anime, I would say Soul Eater does it more interesting due to the fact that they have these, friends that turn into weapons and they have different skill sets, and each time they, for example, that the kid alone, I'm going to take for example, but a lot of them are like this, so keep that in mind. He goes around fighting, but he also, what was it, uses the what was it, Elizabeth sisters, something like that. Yeah, his Patricia and Elizabeth. He uses them in unique ways compared to his competitors. They transform back to humans, help him fight while using the sister as a gun, while using both sisters as guns, and using his own martial arts skills while fighting. Now, this I enjoyed about the kid. This is something that's like interesting. No, this guy's not going to lose. This guy's pretty cool. We see him progress throughout the story. We see him, kind of learn and even improve his work. We see him throughout the missions and how he deals with other people. Now, this is a lot of things that I enjoy about that the kid, and similar reasons which I love the other characters as well. Now, with that being that, I think, yeah, I think that's done with it. So after watching Soul Eater, I would say I highly recommend this anime because it's funny, great, lovable characters, story, music, and more. You know, after a while, what was in the past, I tried to review this anime, and at the time I was genre born out. You know what I mean? Sometimes I watch too many slice of lives, fighting anime. You know what I mean? Kind of gets boring after a while. So I watch some maybe horror or sci-fi to kind of fit that mood, right? So I'm happy that I watched Soul Eater fully. Like I did watch a lot of episodes when it was new, but never finished it because I never knew what time it gave. So with that being that, I hope you enjoyed this video and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me just say this. Out of all the good things today, completing Soul Eater was great, man. Great birthday. But with that being that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, bye.